Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to Up North Live Unscripted. Well, we've been in a bit of a pattern this week. We start off with some sun, then some rain, and then the sun is back, and then some rain again. So our chief meteorologist, Joe Charlebois, you got to tell us, are we going to break this pattern anytime soon, or is it going to be a little more the same?
It's been easy to forecast. It's just every other day, right. Rain late at night, and then in the afternoon.
Then a little sun later.
Yeah, and we have one more shot of that tonight. Some rain coming in. It'll be rain, not snow tonight, Allie, because it'll be a little bit too warm. And then we kind of break, I think, that pattern a little bit. Saturday will be okay. And I know a lot of people have been asking about the potential for snow, later in the weekend. I think some, but at this point, I don't think, an enormous amount coming in. So we'll look at that. How much rain is on the way tonight? And I'll look ahead. It is Thursday night. We'll look ahead to the weekend, too, a little later.
All right. Thank you, Joe, for that preview. In our top story tonight, when passing laws in Lansing, we expect healthy debate, opposition, and often compromise to get the work of the people done. But accusations are growing that effective government is being derailed right now by politics. And an example of that might have to do with a bill that many say is a no-brainer in Leelanau County. Mark Gillette investigates.
This is nonsense. This is what makes people mad about government, is we can't even do this.
If you're frustrated with lawmakers and politics right now, you're not alone. Even at least one of them is as well.
If you look at how dysfunctional things are in Lansing right now, even easy things aren't getting done. And they're getting held up somewhere along the line by politics.
There are probably a lot of examples of that, but one of them hits really close to home and many say is long overdue.
This was a group of sharpshooters who weren't even technically citizens of the United States, who went and joined the United States military during the Civil War and fought valiantly.
We've done a lot of reports on this, the effort by Scott Schwander and the Grand Traverse Band to get a stretch of M22 in Peshabi dedicated to the Native American volunteer Civil War soldiers of Company K.
All they want to do is put up a sign honoring this group of people as you drive through Leelanau County. And so I thought this is a no-brainer.
So he introduced this legislation for a road dedication in the Senate.
It feels like fluff, but it's not.
It's made its way out of the Senate twice. The bill is simple, short, and, if approved, wouldn't cost taxpayers a dime as the tribes offered to pay for the signs. Version 1 died in lame duck, and version 2?
It's sitting on the House floor, and for some reason, they're just not moving it. They could pass it today, send it over to the governor, and she could sign it into law and it'd be done, literally this week.
But it won't be. In the past 3 years, 13 road dedication bills have been sent to the governor's office for her signature, 13 signed. But not this one. The House, under the direction of Speaker Matt Hall, is keeping with the trend of not addressing much proposed Senate legislation. For the first 6 months of 2025, the State House and Senate only was able to send 6 bills to the governor's desk. That's the fewest since 1940. 6 bills, compared to 65 the year before. Not a lot moving through those chambers, and that includes the, some say, overdue honor and recognition of Company K, being held, in some people's word, hostage over apparent politics.
I'm hopeful that I know there's a growing drumbeat out there saying, look, we expect this to get done.
And somebody beating the drum as loud as anyone is Justin Frost.
Maybe we can drive some change here on what I think is a real injustice.
Justin, whose passion is preserving anything historical, has been calling for the road dedication for a while, using his substantial social media platform, at first to educate, but now to call for action.
I can't think of any other reason that this is being done other than either we're playing childhood type politics down in Lansing, or for whatever reason, Matt Hall has decided that Native Americans are not worthy of this honor.
He's watched these men go long enough without being recognized, and Senate Bill 41 sit long enough on the House floor. If it's simply politics, he and other supporters of the effort say it's time to set that aside and get to work.
It's way past due to just get this done.
And that was Mark Gillette reporting. We reached out to Speaker Hall's office for comment and an explanation of the situation. We haven't received a response yet, and we have already been tracking this effort to get the road dedication for months, and we'll continue to do so. Now, over in Peninsula Township, officials held a special meeting this afternoon where residents spoke out about the ongoing lawsuit between the township and several of its local wineries. Many voiced strong support for township leaders as they defend local zoning rules. During public comment, some residents urged the township to stand strong as it continues its legal fight with more than a dozen wineries. A few members thanked the leaders and showed support. The group Protect the Peninsula called for more transparency in the process, while others encouraged leaders to keep an open mind as they look for a resolution.
It's been 5 long years since WAMP sued the residents of the township. Been a lot of closed-door negotiations, but our community deserves to know what's being negotiated because it will impact, obviously, everyone in the community. We look and ask you to be public.
Totally keep an open mind on these things. Don't build walls, build foundations. Look at this easily. Figuring out the financial aspect of this thing, that isn't difficult.
Township leaders didn't make any new decisions tonight, but they say residents' feedback will help guide future talks as this lawsuit moves forward. Now it's time to tap into a local brew as part of Traverse City's Beer Week. It's back and it all kicks off tomorrow. Now, despite the name, this is actually more of a regional promotion of Northern Michigan's beer scene. You can explore it during a week-long tasting event. More than 24 breweries and tap rooms are participating, offering special events, discounts, and new releases. Each day of Beer Week will also be a different theme. Now, here to tell us a little bit more about that is Mickey Graham with Traverse City Tourism. Hi, Mickey.
Hey, good evening. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for joining us tonight on Unscripted. As you know, we have Traverse City's Uncorked, which is a little bit more focused on the wines, but now we're heading into Beer Week.
Yeah, Beer Week starts tomorrow. So it's 8 days. And what this is, it's really shining a light on the breweries in town and the region. We all know what's happening here, and we like to shine a light on it. So it's a great week to get out and enjoy the different breweries and enjoy what, these guys, they're crazy, right? They're mad scientists and what they like to make in their vats and their breweries and all the different tastes that they have. So it's going to be a fun week around town, around the region to get out, enjoy yourself. It's getting a little darker earlier, so it's a good excuse to get out of the house, go do something fun at night.
Okay, I loved that description you had, mad scientist, because that is exactly how we would describe some of the concoctions they come up with, right? Because in looking at some of the participants who are doing Beer Week, it's a little bit of everything, right? You got your cideries, your breweries, your tap rooms. There's a really good representation here for, really any kind of taste that you may have when it comes to beer.
Yeah, it goes across the breweries, like you mentioned. We have all the breweries in town here, the 24 in the region that we're highlighting. But there's also cideries that are doing this too. And each night's going to be a little bit special. Like tomorrow's the Pilsner night. So the brewery's going to be featuring different Pilsners. And then there's like a Browns and a Porterhouse and all these other things going on. And there's special events too. Schwartz is doing some brewery tours next week. There's an IPA challenge at Little Fleet. And then next Saturday, the week kind of culminates with flapjacks and flannels over at Timber Ridge. So it's a great week. There's going to be something for just about anybody who enjoys beers or just wants to go out and have a good time, maybe, and have a beer or two.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot on the docket, and I was just looking through the list of events here, and this one really stands out to me. It is the Brew Bee Spelling Bee at Right Brain Brewery to see if you can actually spell some of your favorite beers as well.
Yeah. I might go and watch. Participating, that may not be my strong suit there because some of these beers do have some unusual names, but that's a fun one. And Russell over there always has some great ideas, and brewers like to have fun, and that's what this is. They're really putting a lot of effort into making this a really fun week for everybody.
Well, just like with Uncorked and some of the wineries, there is also the option to sign up for a passport as part of Beer Week. Can you explain how that works for us?
Yeah, the passport is hugely important. So you can download that passport. It's at traversecity.com. And that's, by the way, that's the best place to get all of this information, traversecity.com. But the passport, what that does, if you check into 5 different breweries over the 8 days using that passport, you can come down to Traverse City Tourism once you check into all 5 and you get one of these great Beer Week hats.
Get a
So
little
download
swag.
that passport. It's got all the information. It's got all the specials, all the different events. And then, like I said, when you check into 5, you get one of these hats.
And I want to emphasize again as well for people, even though it is Traverse City's Beer Week, this is really a regional thing. We have breweries participating that are in Elk Rapids and Antrim County. We've got Farm Club in Leelanau County is jumping in on this as well. So this is really a regional look at some of our, favorite places across the region.
Yeah, and that's the idea, is to really highlight and shine a light on the entire region and what's going on. You mentioned Antrim County, you mentioned some in Leelanau, Benzie County with Farm Club or Stormcloud and some of the other ones out that way. They're also participating. So if you don't necessarily live in Traverse City, but you live in the region, and you want to go visit one of your local breweries, I mean that's what we're looking to do. Get out and experience one. And if you wanted to go up to Elk and experience when you live in Traverse City, that's a great option as well.
Well, and something that you mentioned earlier as well, obviously we've hit daylight saving time. It's getting a little bit darker outside. So this is just another opportunity to, hey, at the end of the workday, or maybe as we hit the weekend, it gives people an opportunity for something to do that gets them out of the house, right?
Yeah. It's almost like a celebration of daylight savings time ending, right? That sort of thing. But it's getting a little colder, and these places, a lot of them have great food as well. So make sure you check out the menus before you go out there, so you can plan your evening. I particularly like a sandwich and a beer at a lot of these places, and so if you're looking for good recommendations, I'm happy to help out with those as well.
I'm glad you mentioned that too, because there is a page on traversecity.com that does do some of these food and beer tastings, so you know exactly what to ask for when you're going to some of these breweries that really do have a lot of great food options.
Yeah, and it's really interesting. Like we talked earlier about the different flavors that all these brewers make, and so when they're making the food and the beer, they're really trying to come up with complementary flavors for the food and the beer. So that's a great resource. I'm glad you mentioned that's a great resource for people to look at before they head on out to make the choices a little bit easier when they get to their favorite place.
And you mentioned there are a bunch of theme nights going on as well. You mentioned some of them earlier, and then I have the list in front of me here too. I'm curious if you can kind of give us a sneak peek of what some of these are going to be. We've got Brown Sugar on Monday, November 10th. What is that going to be?
Yeah, so a lot of the different breweries are going to be featuring these different types of beers, like we talked about browns or porterhouses or reds or pilsners. So a lot of them are going to be featuring those, and then there's also these specials that you can get. So like you mentioned the brown sugar, that's going to be a lot of the breweries are going to feature their browns that they have for that night. And then again on that passport at traversecity.com, they'll have the specials listed there for each of these breweries as well. So it's a discount on a beer, or it's whatever else they're offering to entice people to come in and visit their place.
Real quick before you go, Mickey, I have to know, what is your favorite local beer?
Oh my goodness, that's
too many, right?
Well, I mean, I don't want to play favorites here, but I will tell you my favorite kind of style. I do like a good porter. The porter. So I'm really excited about the porter night. I got that one circled.
All right. Well, Mickey, thank you so much for joining us here tonight on Unscripted. Now, before we head into our first commercial break, this does go along with our question of the day. It is inspired by Beer Week. We are asking you tonight, do you prefer local beer or national brands? And right now, I'm going to check the latest results here. Local beer is winning 53%, national beer brands at 47%. So if you are joining us right now, you can scan that QR code on your screen. But as we head into our first commercial break, for those of you joining us online, you do have the option to still scan that QR code, and we'll go over some of your comments at the end of the show. We'll be back.
I'm Jada Johnson from Big Boys TV, and the Fish and Game Report is sponsored by Johnson's Propane.
Welcome back to Up North Live Unscripted. Let's go ahead and bring in Chief Meteorologist Joe Charlevoix now. And Joe, I was thinking about this earlier. You like to use that description where you're like, oh, I have these graphics and I put them away in a folder on my computer. We archive them and then we bring them back out later. We just did that with the leaf peeping forecast. But now are we pulling back out the snow forecast?
Yeah, those ones are getting dusted off. Yeah, believe me.
They're getting ready for their big debut.
They're coming out soon. We've in about 4 or 5 months, we'll do the maple syrup forecast. I put the beach forecasts away. We're done with those now.
Tuck that in for now.
Right. Golf forecast, that's put away too. Let's take a look though in Gaylord tonight. That's still up. Our weather cameras, of course. Cloudy skies. It's 41 right now there in downtown Gaylord, where a matter of a few hours, 6-7 hours from now, we'll be dealing with some rain there. Well, actually, I think anybody in our viewing area, almost all areas are going to get some rain tonight. Here's what's going on. We have an area of low pressure just entering Minnesota, and then north of that is separately a cold front with a little snow there in parts of south central Canada tonight. That's heading our way. And so there's a look at our satellite and radar picture. And you can see this kind of filling in with some rain over the last couple of hours. I'll take the satellite off, and there's just radar. And you can see some rain. Now, if you look over in the UP and far northern lower Michigan, you might look at that and say, wow, look at all the rain in Newberry, Watt, Detour Village. But this is not really reaching the ground yet. I'll show you when the main batch of rain arrives. And that is there's this light stuff that's really kind of evaporating before reaching the ground. We call that virga. But here's the main area of rain. So this is 2 o'clock. That rain extending from Ludington, Pentwater, right up to Lake Superior. And that will cross through the second half of the night tonight. So again, this is way before school, way before we go to work. And then that'll head out of here. And then what we're left with is a little bit of backwash behind this, some rain and mainly rain showers tomorrow, but nothing that's going to be widespread. And then we head into Saturday, pretty quiet. We've been saying that all week. I really don't think a lot happens Saturday in terms of weather. Mostly cloudy skies, maybe a spit of rain or a flurry, but that should be about it. As far as the rain tonight, there's the accumulation totals. We're looking at maybe a 1/4 inch to maybe a 1/2 inch in a couple spots late tonight. Now getting into the weekend, low pressure will pass south of us Saturday night and a Sunday morning. Even downstate, there could be some snow. You know, the track on this isn't the most favorable for us to get a lot of snow. It will be cold enough for some lake effect snow on Monday. But the way the wind is setting up Monday, it looks like it's more straight out of the north. So that'll favor areas right near the Great Lakes, maybe Traverse City, Ludington, Manistee, perhaps Alpena. Inland areas, not quite as much. And then Tuesday is Veterans Day, maybe a couple rain or snow showers then. All right, here's the extended forecast. And again, Saturday, quiet. Sunday, though, that chance for some snow showers, and especially with the first snow for some spots, it could be a bit messy. So just be aware of that. Monday, some snow showers, and then Veterans Day, perhaps a rain or snow shower. Temperatures around 40 degrees, Allie.
So at least for the next couple days, snow boots in the closet, rain boots outside the closet.
Yeah, at least, you're right. Next couple days, that's perfect.
All right. Well, thank you, Joe. We're heading into our next commercial break. When we come back, we're checking in with Sports Director Harrison Beebe. Welcome back to Up North Live Unscripted. Well, high school football playoffs continue this time tomorrow night. Sports Director Harrison Beebe spoke with Gaylord senior Jaron Benzinger about the spectacular season going on for Gaylord. That will continue tomorrow night with a second round playoff game against Mount Pleasant. Before kickoff, he sat down with Harrison in our latest Jimmy John Sports Corner.
The following segment is sponsored by Jimmy John's of Traverse City.
This has been pretty fun for you guys over there in Gaylord. 2 years ago, you had this great season, made a run to the regional. Last year, kind of things didn't quite go your way, and you get an immediate bounce back this year. It's kind of the ups and downs of high school sports in general, but what has it been like to ride that wave?
It's pretty cool to see both sides, because last year I was on the downside. The year before that, I got to see my brother, all the growth he had, that super special team. And now, I'm in his shoes now, and it's cool. I mean, it's been a journey for sure. A lot of hard work in the offseason. And the thing about this team, we have a lot of heart.
Coach Salisbury, first year here, it's pretty rare you see a coach go undefeated in his first season. What about his system and trust in him has led to these results?
He's a really good coach. He's probably one of the smartest guys I've ever met with football knowledge. He holds us accountable for what we need to do and lets us execute when we execute and disciplines us when we need discipline. But he awards us when we do good things.
You've been through a lot of tests and you passed them all so far. So what has it been like to know that not only are you undefeated, but you're battle tested in this stage?
We're comfortable in any situation, honestly. We've been down inning from 21-0 and came back and won football games. I mean, Coach Shields preaches that you don't stop playing football till that clock hits zero, and we really play by that. We play every snap hard, and you'll come at you and hit you in the mouth every play, and just let you know, we're not going to stop playing until that whistle's blown.
And this team won a district title 2 years ago on the way to the regional, and you have the chance to do that again this Friday night. Mount Pleasant is maybe the toughest team you've faced all year. What have you seen about the Oilers so far that you're preparing for?
For sure, I give credit to that team. They've always been a powerhouse football program. And I think if we go to, it's going to be a war. We got to go out there ready, hit them in the mouth. It's going to be a physical game, but 4 quarters, best team will win.
You won a wrestling state title last year, right?
Yes. Been on the biggest stage in wrestling, and I'd love to be on the biggest stage in football. And I know what it's like being at that level and competing at that level. From what I've seen of our team, we have full potential making a big run in the playoffs.
All right, thank you, Harrison. Now, Harrison is out right now at a playoff event, and I'll have those highlights for you tonight at 11. We're going into our last commercial break now, and when we come back, we'll go over the results of our question of the day.
Salon services are furnished by Epiphany Advanced Academy in East Acme.
Welcome back to Up North Live Unscripted. Let's take a look at the results of our question of the day. Do you prefer local beer or national brands? And a local beer winning at 54%, national beer brands at 46%. We have a time for a couple comments here. Dave saying Shorts Local Light. Patrick says he prefers national, but if he goes out, he asks if anything resembles a Bud Light. Chris says I prefer free beer. Ryan saying Sheboygan Brewing Company. Well, thanks for joining us for Up North Live Unscripted. We'll see you back here tonight at 11.